update on Jeremiah?
It's a hamstring. We feel he might have pulled it. We'll get further evaluate tomorrow and go from there.
Taylor Moton and Greg Van Roten seem to do a pretty solid job both in run blocking and pass pro today. What was your evaluation of them?
Well, from what I could see, I thought our offensive line as a whole played very well. I was very pleased with that. Some of the things that the veterans did in protecting the quarterback, giving him time to throw the ball, some things that we did in running it early on. I was very happy about that. Pleased with the second bunch. Would like to see us run block a little bit better. But, man, they did a nice job in terms of pass pro for the most part. And, again, just it's a tribute to how hard they work, but also to the coaching. I really appreciate what Coach Masco and Travell Wharton have done with those young guys.
Speaking of the quarterback, what's your reaction when you saw him go head first in a preseason game?
I always worry about him, but that's him. He plays to win, and I'd much rather he didn't. But again, he's going to give us all he has because he wants to do his best out there.
What was the injury worry or evaluation there when he came out for?
Well, what happened was when he came down on his head, they obviously put him in the protocol to check him real quick, and the truth of the matter was that the helmet had slid down over his eye, and so once he cleared the protocol, they just wanted to make sure this was okay, and the eye was fine, and so he was cleared obviously, and he came back in and finished up.
The series or two later after that, he made some really nice. Used his legs to kind of get out of trouble, and then found the open receiver instead of taking off and run. Is that
that's what
you're looking for?
Yes, the consistency of finding the receivers downfield. And again, but that's always been part of his game. I don't think he gets enough credit for his movement and trying to find receivers downfield, and he did a very nice job with that. I think again, the more and more he plays within what we're doing, the more and more confidence he's going to have. I thought Devin Funchess stepped up, had a big game today, and did those kind of things that we need him to do. And this was his kind of game, and he won out there, which was good to see.
Dante Jackson's made a big play on third down 2 weeks in a row now. What did you see out of your two starting rookie defensive backs tonight?
I was pretty excited about him. We did some things I think we could have done better as a whole. I think we could have given them a little bit more tools too as far as the game planning was concerned. If we get a chance to really look at it, I'll be able to assess it better. But I thought the things that Dante did are the types of things that you want. Give yourselves an opportunity to make plays out there. I thought Rashawn did some nice things. I thought again his ability to see the field and move and put himself in position showed. And he's still got a long way to go. He's a young guy that does some good things though. I liked how he came up, fit inside a couple times on the run. And I also liked how we controlled some of the communications that went out there. We made a check, and he got Mike Adams back, and he came down and fit the box nicely. So, again, those young guys really stepped up and did some nice things.
What do you mean when you say you want to give them more tools?
Well, I think, again, we did some things with our game planning, but I think we could have done a couple more things. But these are all things that you hold on to once you get into the getting ready for the regular season.
Ron, did you get an explanation from the officials about the clock running at the end of the first half?
More so than anything else, it was just they missed it. It was one of those things. He went down, and they were hustling to get the spot, and they made their call. And I'll take this much though. It just showed us that we can hustle down there, spike the ball, and still give us enough time to kick it. So we got some good work out of it.
Did Greg put his 2 cents in about?
Of course he did. Yeah. And it was just one of those things. Again, that's why we're going through the preseason. It's preseason for all of us.
Were you pleased with how the offense ran that 2-minute drill?
Yes, I was. I was very pleased with it. I was pleased with a lot of things. A little disappointed we got down in the red zone early on, and we had to kick field goals. When you play good teams like this, you have to score touchdowns in order to beat them. That's how you beat teams that have the type of firepower they have, especially with Tom Brady at quarterback. So it's something we'll go back and look at, and some things that we got to get better at and correct. Because again, as I said, to beat good teams, you've got to score touchdowns.
A couple times, Eric Washington looked pretty fired up about his red zone defense.
Yes, he did. And we've been good with it so far this preseason, and hopefully it carries over into the regular season. But yeah, they did some nice things down there, and when you do that, you give yourself a chance to win.
Played Marquise Haynes and Brian Cox Jr. a lot tonight. What are you seeing out of those young guys? I think probably Brian's kind of on the bubble for you right now.
Actually, when you watch what they did and you see the things that they do, they bring some energy to the group. They're explosive guys, quick off the ball. BC did some really nice things in the run game as well. Marquise is a guy that can give us some pass rush, some edge rush. So again, both young guys are doing great for us, and we'll continue to evaluate.
Kevon Seymour wasn't dressed tonight. Was he? Was it an injury?
Well, Kevon had a root canal, yeah, and so yeah.
When you think about these two rookie defensive backs that started tonight, they were 5 years old when Tom Brady had his rookie season. Does that make you feel old at all?
No, it makes hopefully it makes Tom feel old. Wow. Okay.
Taylor and Garrett both had some nice highlights tonight. What do you think of both their preseason so far?
I think they're both playing well right now, and both guys are showing that they belong on a roster. And again, we have to continue to evaluate as we go forward.
What did you learn about Cam through this entire 3 games here?
Well, I think again he's learning to play more and more consistent. He's making good decisions off of good reads, and he's finding the right opportunity to put the ball in there. To force some throws as opposed to, holding on to it, waiting and waiting. He's done a nice job. He really has. And I've been very pleased with his effort and the way he's worked. And I think it reflects and shows in how this team has played so far. We've still got a long way to go. And again, this is the preseason, and we're just learning.
Around 65% for the preseason, which is kind of the target you guys, 65 to 70. So you feel like this, how sustainable is that?
Well, hopefully. Again, and I said it, it's about consistency, doing things consistently right, and hopefully we can continue this trend as we go forward.
10 touches and a fumble recovery for Christian in the first quarter, and then the second quarter, Cam Newton spread the ball around to a lot of different guys. Is that something we can expect to see moving forward,
Hopefully
kind of
so.
that juxtaposition?
Again, one of the things I always talked about last, a couple of years ago, we had our good run, was the different targets, the ball being spread around, and so it's not just one guy that there's a responsibility to, and I think it takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback when he knows he can spread the ball around. When you can throw it to a Funch and then turn around, throw it to Torrey and throw it to Jarius, and then you start throwing in the mix the young guys, BJ and Curtis and Demir. I mean, those weapons right there at wide receiver are pretty exciting. And then you add Greg into the mix and Ian, and then the 2 backs, and then you got Alex coming out as a fullback into the flat. So when you have targets like that and you spread it out, it creates space for everybody, and that's what we want to be able to do, is create space.